now you're in this position where you're kind of after school and the basketball is over with, and you now you got a decision to make.
Yeah.
Did you want to go to school when you were coming out after 12th grade? Was it still something that's in your mind that you wanted to go to college still, or did you kind of think that was kind of like a little far fetched?
At this point, I was college. Like,
Full blown.
Need to get there.
Gotta go.
No matter what, need to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I see all my peers going there, going big schools. I'm like, I need to get somewhere because I don't want to not go anywhere and because I had no backup plan. It was like, is it the basketball's gonna work out, or I'm gonna have to get this job? So yeah, college was it for me.
Okay. And at this point, by the end of that season, outside of the school that you went to, were you recruited by anybody else?
Other like D3 schools in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
in the same conference.
Yep, same conference, and then some outside. And it was like a late tournament in AU where I got some like D1 interest, but at this point I already committed to where I went, so I was. It wasn't even a thought. It was like I'm going there, and I said I was. So that's what happened.
Okay. So that summer going into that, not even that summer, I would say that spring. When did you make your decision? In the spring?
I think it was in spring, yeah.
Springtime?
Maybe early summer, spring, yeah.
Because I think you got to make the verbals like or something by that point.
Yeah.
Something. So, white guy comes up to you.
Jesus, this guy.
I'm talking about outgoing. He would sell water to a whale. But talk about your experience in your recruitment from Coach Harney in St. Mary's.
So Harney tells this story all the time. The first time I met Harney was at a camp in Laguerre, and he was on the sideline, do whatever, and I'm dribbling and I get stripped, and then he going the other way and I glass the shot, and it goes there. And Harney always says like that was the moment where he knew, like he has to recruit me. He came up to me after that and like I quote, he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna come to St. Mary's." In my head, like knowing it's a D3 school, I was like, he's lost his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Not a chance in hell I'm going there.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, like called my house, called my parents, sending me stuff in the mail. Like he was on my tail like no other. And then the big thing, he got it with my parents. Like my parents liked him, my parents respected him, and they kind of not pushed me, but like funneled me toward that because they knew what kind of guy he was. Mm-hmm. And that's how that recruitment went. Yeah.
Coach Harney, man, he calls you to come to St. Mary's. Did you know where it was at?
Nope.
Did you care where it was at?
Nope.
Obviously, because like you said, you didn't even think you were going at first. But once it kind of starts to pick up and you realize that it could be some steam, what was ultimately the last thing that made your decision?
I went down there on a visit. My pops came with me, my brother-in-law, and my nephew came with me. And we saw a game and we walked around the campus and I just remember like the camp, it was like a gloomy day, it was a rainy day, so I didn't get the real St. Mary's experience, but I saw the game and it was a good amount of people in the gym. It was pretty packed, and then I saw like the competition, and from that I was sitting in the stand and I was like, it was crazy, I was looking at it, I was like, man, they not that good. I was like, I don't know, it's a competition, don't seem that bad. But again, it was like Harney himself, like he sold it to me. Like he said, he could sell water to a whale, he could sell whatever to whoever. Mm-hmm. And he kind of got me down there, and that's what it was for me.
Right. How was the beginning and how you kind of accepted coming to the school and your approach to how you was going to do college once you got there? Because like you don't have no foundation, nobody's kind of gearing you towards what you're ready to see. So how did you kind of adjust to coming to college?
So like the college adjustment wasn't too bad. Like I've always been like a state of myself type person, so I was in my room most of the time. Like if I wasn't in the gym, if I wasn't eating or in class, I was in my room. So I was pretty like isolated. And then I had a roommate for the first semester, second semester I didn't have a roommate. So like that whole time basically, it was class, food, gym, home, basically the whole year. So it wasn't that bad for me, and that was the first time I've ever had access to a gym to where I can go and come as I please. So I was locked in no matter what. And like that whole first couple of weeks, I was at the gym the whole time.
The whole time. I still got the pictures.
I'm in there all day. So, yeah. I mean, I loved pickup. Like, pickup was some of the best time for me because, like I said, you get to compete with your team, and it's like you measuring up against everybody else. And now it's like it's a restart. You left as a senior, you was top dog, now you back to being a pup. Mm-hmm. So, like that whole pickup, weight room stuff, I do good with like a schedule. Like I'm good with you tell me where to be on there, and I'll do what I got to do. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty good for me. It helped me a lot. And then like leading up to the season, like you said, I didn't know what to expect. So there was a lot of nerves involved with that.
Yeah.
And then everybody's talking about the 6 a.m. mile or whatever, the midnight mile, and then all the running and this and that. So I was nervous as can be. But I knew I was there for a reason, so I really wasn't tripping. It was,
for sure.
I'm here, I know what I need to do, and it was time to go to work. So that's how I took it.
First game you playing against St. John's.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that going into that game?
I was nervous. Yeah, and then it's like you walk into the gym, and everybody's in the gym, and it's packed. There's a lot of people in there. I'm thinking at first I thought it wasn't gonna be that many people. It's a D3 school coming in. They don't really care. That place was going.
Packed.
Yeah, that place was going.
It was packed.
I had some nerves, and I remember they were running this 1-2-2 press long. And they had a lot of young talent. Like they had a lot of people coming up.
You had a guy going to the NBA on the team.
Yep.
Mo Harkless.
Yep. And then they had like a Sir Dominic Pointer. Guys get the chews on that team. They had a point guard. His last name was Lindsay. I don't know what happened to him.
Me either, but he was a dog.
Yes.
He was a dog.
So they in this long 1-2-2 press. I get the ball, and I throw cross court. I throw this thing maybe 4 rows deep into the bleachers because I was just nervous. But after that, I was like, all right, I got my feet wet, I'm good. I got my turnover out of me, so I was cool. But no, before it, nerves. A lot of nerves. Yeah.
Good nerves. Good nerves.
Yeah.
Good nerves.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you had played in that big of an arena?
Yep. Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah. The next biggest thing was probably St. Mary's.
Yeah. That's wild, man. Dev had a great game that game too.
Dev was cooking. Was he at 26, I think?
I think so. He was walking down Times Square. He was asking him about what was going on.
He
Like,
was cooking. Kyle had the buzzer beater that made Sports Center.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was crazy, man. But one thing I do wanted to say though, I always wanted to tell you this about that situation because that game was a little different for me. I was watching it from a different lens, like. And I've told Trey this, and I told God, we talked about this 1,000 times because I always wanted to go to St. John's.
Really?
That was my dream school for this, what I'm doing right here.
Yeah.
That's what they're known for.
That's great. I didn't know that.
So journalism is like one of the top programs. So when I knew we was going to play them, I'm like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
I didn't play, but I was watching you in that game, bro. And I told my boys this when I came back. I said, yo. Because you know us, one thing I'm never doing is being a hater.
Yeah.
So I was like, one thing I swear to God, like from this point on, yo, Nick is going, I'm going to make sure this little, because you were so ready. Like, I swear to God, like none of the shit you're telling me now is how it looked.
Yeah.
You looked like you was good, you was poised, but I was so proud to see you go out there and play and go from that point to where you got to at the end, like to see that whole thing, like, cause I remember that whole shit, like the practices, that game specifically, going forward in the rest of that season, I was so proud to see like how that shit turned out, yo. Like, and obviously we're gonna talk about it a little bit, but
I mean, even you say you were my biggest fan, like you were my biggest fan from day one.
From day one,
nobody else like told me the stuff you told me. Like, you would routinely tell me how good I was every single day,
every day,
and anything. Like, I just remember anything in practice because like in practice, we would get matched up against like each other a lot, and for like there's certain people who would like I have trouble guarding. Like this dude Trevor in high school could never guard him. You were somebody else who I always had trouble guarding. It's because like your movements and it's like I know you're trying to catch me, and that in the back of my mind, like subconscious, is all right. I need to relax. Like, I need to stay on my P's and Q's before I get embarrassed.
Yep.
But you were always somebody who legit took me under their wing and was always helping me, especially that freshman year because that was a tough year.
I was so proud, man. I just like I said, I was just proud because I was put in a position where I got tested. Like, you could easily be a sucker.
Oh, for sure.
In that position. I was a senior. Felt like I was nice. You could be a complete sucker, but sometimes you got to see what exactly is going on and how you can place your mark even without doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, dog, we got to make sure. I used to tell David and like, David, you cannot fuck with this dude, yo. Like, I still tell him to this day. Like,
that's the fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
say that
you cannot. This is the best. This nigga, this is me with bounce. You know, you can't fuck with it. There's nothing you can do with it. So to just that whole situation, man, and coming in as a freshman, I always wanted to tell you, like, I was super proud of how you had made that transition, and I just wanted to make sure you felt comfortable, because I did the same thing with Christian too. Christian was the same way, and I just want to make sure y'all dudes was comfortable, and to just know that y'all was capable of doing any and everything that you came here for.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I asked that, because that was that. I wasn't worried about basketball no more.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't even around after that because I wanted to get kicked off the team halfway through the year after Puerto Rico. So going through the rest of that year, how did you feel you could kind of grade your freshman year? Like, did you feel like it was a success? You feel like it was a learning curve? Do you feel like you know what I mean? You feel like you got like way better? You feel like you got held back? How would you summarize that?
So I think it was like success, like mentally, like St. Mary's is a lot. Like Harney demands a lot out of his players mentally.
Yeah.
Not so much as like the physique, but just remembering plays, remembering like figurations, all that stuff. Because we had over 50 plays. Like that stuff is hard.
I would say, I used to tell people this all the time. We got like 10 sets, and each thing you do is another play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really like even a number.
Nope.
It's just about
movement.
Literally movement. You pass the ball this way, that's a play.
Yeah.
Once you pass the ball that way, if you dribble away, that's another play.
Yeah.
Mind you, something's still going on over here that they do. So it was really tough. Like that motion offense was tough. But go ahead, my fault.
And then like that, like you said, like that, everything was hard, like mentally. And then me playing multiple positions, it was like I just felt like my mind grew so much in that time to where I felt like more confident as a smarter basketball player. Like how I played and what I produced, I thought it was a terrible year. I thought I played awful. I think I was like I averaged like 8 points. I think I shot under 40% from three. I think I shot under 40% from the field. Like I thought it was a terrible year.
Oh, you throw the ball to the other team. Like,
turnover machine.
Oh, big turnovers.
Machine.
That was the biggest thing. That was it. That was the only thing. Like nobody ever said it back then.
Turnover.
But that was the only thing somebody could have said to me back then about you that I'd have been like, all right.
Turnover machine.
That was it.
We played. I can't remember the team. Had 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers. It was they had the big Turkish dude and the All-American point guard.
Oh, dog.
They were like we played at their place.
Yes, it was.
I can't remember the name.
No, it was. No, it was. Was it Virginia?
It was his name was like McMillian or McMillan.
Damn, yeah, I can't remember, yo. But yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
8 turnovers, and they were a ranked team, and it was just like I was a turnover machine.
Yeah, that was rough.
So yeah, like play wise, I thought I played terrible. Then I was not happy with that year. Still not happy with it.
Okay. If you can summarize to me what it was to kind of build in that off season and what it took for you to get ready for the sophomore year. Because the reason why I asked this question like that, like the way I'm asking them, is I want people to see the change in approach and how you got prepared each time.
Oh, it's simple. Yeah.
So going into that summer, it's not like in high school we got AAU and all of that. This is your first college summer. Did you go home or did you stay at school? You went home, and what did you do when you got home?
Worked out with Hutch.
Worked out with Hutch the whole time?
All the time. Like Hutch brought me under his wing that summer. Like, he would take me anywhere, and we was playing all over the place. Like, we was sneaking in St. Paul's at midnight working out. We were in Newtown. We're all over the place playing basketball. And plus, at that time, St. Mary's had a team in the men's league down LTA.
Oh yeah.
So I'm down there whenever we're playing, and then we were playing at Loyola too. Because we had a league out there, so I'm out there. So it was just constant basketball.
That league was so fun.
Yeah.
That Loyola league was so fun. There was some real teams in that joint.
It was great competition.
Even with Loyola. Just that preparation that you're dealing with Hutch lets me know how much better you got that summer, because he was a workout animal.
Crazy.
I mean, was that when you kind of got introduced to a new level of training too? You would say
that was like the first time I ever like worked out. Besides like the freshman year when I was working out by myself, that's the first time I had somebody like tell me what to do and show me like how to get better. Because that when I was just doing what I thought would get me better, aka shooting 1,000 shots and just dribbling through cones and doing stuff like that. He was the first person to like specifically hone in on like my weaknesses and to make me better.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That whole summer.
That's what's up. And come back to school, 10th grade.
Yeah.
Now you already had this 9th grade thing under your belt. 10th grade, did you feel like you had a little bit more leeway, like as far as yourself? Because I know you were kind of in the room. It was kind of like a closed door with you at that point. Did you feel any more open or relaxed when you came back sophomore year, or was it kind of the same mindset?
So I felt it was much different sophomore year, because like freshman year, like I wasn't close to anybody. The first part, so Lee, he came in that second semester of the first year. And that was the first person on campus who I like clicked with. And then coming back sophomore year, that was my guy. Like we lived together, like we did everything together. And he was on the same mission as me. We were just trying to progress, trying to get better.
Right.
So he was the one person who not only helped me through basketball, but socially. Because me, I was still internal. Like I still wasn't messing with nobody. But he was more outgoing. He was more open to meeting people. So like I didn't drink, I didn't party, I didn't go to anything my freshman year. Sophomore year, it took me probably half the year, but he finally got me out of my comfort zone and introduced me to like actually St. Mary's. So that was like a huge like life eye opener for me.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm glad you stayed in that room freshman year.
Yeah, it didn't go out.
Because I was out there.
It's going nuts.
Talk about the kind of the atmosphere and how you felt being at St. Mary's. Did you feel like socially it was just cool? Like it was a cool place to be? Like nobody really bothered you? Or was it like just a situation where you feel like it might have been? Because I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. I felt like St. Mary's was a hippie school. So I felt like anybody that you ran into, white, black, Asian, whatever, it was going to be cool. So kind of talk about like your up until that point, like you said, because you're just starting to step out at this point. What was your introduction to that? Did you kind of feel like the campus was like rocking with you, or did you think it was like a cool vibe, or weird, or?
It was definitely different. St. Mary's is a place where it's nice out. People walk around with no shoes on, and it's like people walk around like doing like just laying in the grass or something like that.
Hippies.
That stuff is weird. Like it's weird to me at that point. I didn't know what I'm seeing. Like I didn't come from this. Like so it was different. And like everybody, but the one thing, everybody was nice. Nobody was mean. And then St. Mary's was small, so it never made me feel uncomfortable. Like I was always able to get away if I wanted to. And then nobody bothered me. So it was like, I know a lot of people always say they wish they went to a bigger school, like a party school. That was not for me. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to do what I had to do and just live my life. So I wasn't in any of the outside stuff. So St. Mary's was perfect for me. I couldn't have went to a perfect school, more perfect school.
No, I feel you. That's a very good way to put that for sure. Great. Did you think I gotta be the man? Did you just want to kind of just continue to get better, or what was your mind frame?
It was never the man, because I had upperclassmen. Like Dev was there, and I always looked up to Dev being like the guy. Just because his demeanor, like his composure and his skill level, like he was the best shooter I've ever seen at that point. So like Dev was always like the guy to me. I was just trying to help out in any way I could. Just be the best all-around basketball player I could, whether that's defense, scoring, blocking shots, rebounding. I'm doing whatever we got to do to win games, and that was the bottom line.
Okay. And sophomore year, you guys had a lot of success. What was y'all record that year?
No idea. 27-3, maybe 26.
What was it? I think it was 27-4
or something like that. Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, something like that. I have no idea.
Best team you ever been on?
For sure. Maybe not the most talented, but best team.
Best team
for sure.
Best team you've been on.
Yeah,
y'all was dangerous, man.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say that is because a couple years before that, we had a had a team that went to the to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
And I had another gentleman on here by the name of Alex Franz, and had your other teammate, which you were just talking about, Devin Spencer.
Yep.
Now, with this team, we had arguably one of the, if not the best player in St. Mary's history, resume-wise, Alex Franz. Yep. And we had him, Big Sam Burham,
squad.
James Davenport, Hutch, that's your man, Dab that you speak of, Vaughn that you spoke of, K Wise that you also know, Brendan who was your teammate, Hoss who was your teammate.
My guys.
And then they had 23 out there.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Big Christian.
Yeah.
Who I think you had the honor of playing with your freshman year.
Mikey was out there.
Mikey was there.
Was Fowler on that team?
Fowler was not on that team. He was there the year before.
Oh, okay,
we had Big Mike Bowden. Johan was going to play, but he wound up having a condition. Elite Eight. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I came off the bench. So let's just start there. You know what I'm saying? Let's just show you the talent level. And me, Vaughn, Hutch, all came off the bench.
That was a good team.
Do you feel like your team was the best?
Yes.
That played in St. Mary's?
Yes.
Would you care to explain why you feel that way?
So, all those players you named, the ones who I played with, I had a better version of those.
Did you?
I had a better version of those. I had a better Devin. I had a better James. I had a better Hoss, a better Brendan. I had a better version. Also, I was on this team. I think I contributed a good amount to this team. We had a better Kyle, Vaughn. I think we had better versions. And I think
Vaughn was on that team too?
And I think our coaching staff was different. I think that coaching staff I had my sophomore year was the best probably St. Mary's has had. Because we had Coach Miller, we had Coach Letty was on there, we had Grayson, Coach Grayson, we had Coach Merritt, Coach Jeb. We had a lot of good coaches. We had like 7 coaches.
I think Flags was still there too, right? No, he left that.
Flags left, yeah.
Right.
But we had, like, that coaching staff was loaded. All guys who had a lot of experience and had a lot to bring. But I think we're better. I think I was on the team. I'm sticking with my team.
No, I got to go with us.
I'm sure.
No, I got to go with us. I mean, because you think about it from the points perspective, we got to go. At the 2, you got James shooting 40 to 60% from 3. Seriously, he was out there leading the county, leading the conference in threes. And if he wasn't, Christian was in threes.
I was over 50% last year.
I looked down at him trying to hit it. We got 2 people doing that. And Dev.
Yeah. Y'all was loaded. I give it. Y'all were loaded.
Mikey and me off the bench.
Mikey's the truth.
Hutch coming in, strapping everything y'all got on. I don't care what y'all got going on there. Hutch is strapping that at that point. That's when he was only strapping.
Hutch should have been an NFL cornerback.
That's all he wanted to do.
He should have been a cornerback.
I feel like he would have been very good at football.
I think he would. No doubt in my mind, he would have been at a top D1 school.
Yeah, because it was his laterals and all that was really crazy.
Balance. He was fast as all hell.
Man, listen.
Hutch would have been he could have made it to the league.
Hutch off the bench.
Yeah.
Me. Let's not go. We can't go past that right there.
Y'all had a team.
None of them dudes.
Y'all had a team.
Off y'all bench could beat me. I mean, that's just it right there.
Y'all had a good.
And it's the crazy part. I'm gonna tell you, God honest truth. James didn't even start at first either.
I know.
It was Mikey and Dev. Then it was Hutch and Mikey.
Oh, I got somebody else too.
It was.
Skip too. Don't remember Skinny.
But see, I'm not worried about that.
Well, you should be.
That was that's also another one of my little brothers. You know he knows what's up with me. What I used to do. What I did to Skip when we played this.
Skip is automatic buckets. Doesn't matter which way you slice it. That's automatic points.
Listen, the reason why Skip did what he did is because he seen me do what I did to him when we was at Long Reach and he was at Bel Air. But y'all was nice though. I can't even lie about that. Like, to speak to Dev's point, it's like, first and foremost, that team was close. Y'all team was like literally one. Yeah, like y'all did a lot of shit together. You know what I'm saying? Ours was kind of split. Big Sam and them, they not hanging with me involved.
I didn't know that.
You know what I mean? Big Sam, well, I'm not gonna say that. Big Sam, he would hang around but y'all could all go to a place or would go to a place together. You know what I'm saying?
We was together all the time.
Big Sam, Jars, they gonna do their thing. Fran's gonna be with them. Mikey might be with us, but it's gonna be me, Vaughn, Kyle. Then you got Henry.
Oh yeah.
Brendan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That Henry in itself was a character. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Hen Dog. But I felt like y'all camaraderie and y'all oneness was a little bit more than ours. But I just think that we was just a little bit more deeper and experienced.
Deeper, talented. I think y'all.
That's the only reason why I feel like we was better. But I think y'all had the better record. Played more games and had a better record. And to be honest with you, I think the level of talent that y'all played against that year across the board, like that whole year, was just as tough. So I can't take away from y'all.
It was both them Elite Eight teams was St. Mary's historic teams.
For sure.
Yeah, it was both crazy teams.
Yeah, I loved y'all.
As a D3 team, all that talent is wild. It's wild.
We're gonna get to that too, because we have to discuss the simple matter that, like you spoke of, you played with all the guys, and every one of the other guys who played with AAU, they might have went D1. Most of them did. You know what I'm saying?
All of them.
Guys you playing against, and every one of them guys from around there that did not was all on St. Mary's at that time.
Basically, yeah.
Everybody.
So my team, it was basically all Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like basically the whole team, minus a few people here and there, was basically all Baltimore team, which was crazy. Like everybody's from the same area. Everybody knew of one another.
Yeah.
Before we knew each other.
Yep.
Which was wild.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I got down. When I got down to St. Mary's and I saw that specific thing, I'm like, yo, he went to Newtown. He went to Pikesville. These niggas had real niggas on their team.
Yeah.
So if you wasn't that nigga, anybody, the next person was there. Like, it was just crazy to me. So you come into that 10th grade, and like I said, y'all had a great year that year. Did you feel like you took a step that year? Like, did you feel like you got better during that season as well? Or like more so a continued learning path? Or is it like were you accepted of how you played that year? Because I know you said the year before you were kind of a little upset, but were you accepted of how you played that year?
That year, that's where I got the most recognition I ever got. That year, it was like I led the team in scoring, steals, blocks, assists, 3-point percentage, field goal percentage. Like that year was like just an all around solid year for me.
Yep.
And it was like I was getting national recognition, which was cool. It was different. We were winning, which was wild. So yeah, that was my favorite basketball year ever, by far.
Mine too.
Yeah, by
Didn't
far.
even play.
That was a crazy year.
Because that was Dev. That's when I was still living down there. And Dev was still playing.
Yep.
And he had Kilo, and I had to watch Kilo and shit when y'all went to the games, away games and stuff. But I just remember that whole time, like, man, y'all was so exciting to go watch play.
Yeah.
Like that game y'all had against Wesley.
Wow. It was so many people in that gym, and it was just electric. And it was on what's the little holiday thing? Marty Greens.
Marty Greens.
One of them holidays.
There's a Marty Greens
same
weekend.
day.
Yep.
Crazy.
Off the hook, bro.
Nuts.
That's the reason why I was there. Because I couldn't even come to campus at that point.
Yeah.
But I came to the game. I had to immediately leave. I didn't even go to Marty Greens. Like
Crazy.
I had to go back to the crib.
Yeah.
But that game in particular is what kind of like, because Dev was hurt by this point. Broke his hand.
The game before. Mary Wash.
And that game, I said, man, I don't know what the limit is for this kid. To be honest with you, because like you said, it was just a magical situation, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wanted to always hear you kind of talk about that game. Because like you said, Dev just got his hand broke. Now you're not necessarily the de facto leader, but you already kind of were. Yeah. Like as far as scoring and everything, now it's all the way on. This is a Wesley game. We ain't losing to them. Shout out to my man Big P. Love you to death.
Legend.
Big P was that dude, but we wasn't losing to you. And I told you that before and after the game.
Yeah.
Well, talk about that game, man, in that magical moment.
That game was crazy. Like, all right, so first, even before the game, me and Lee sitting in the room, and I'm just, and there's a couple hours before the game, blah, 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 and I'm sitting here just watching Jordan. I'm watching all Jordan highlights, all his game winners, and I'm sitting there thinking, and me and Lee talking, I'm like, he was cold. Not knowing what's about to happen that night. But we get into the game, and it's just a dogfight, like it is every game with Wesley, every single time. Because they got rooms on their team.
Yes, sir.
It's basically the same teams, just on opposite sides of the Chesapeake.
Yep.
So it's a dogfight, and we just get down to it. We get down to the regular time of the game. We down 3, horns, come off the screen, hit the big shot, tie it up. We go to overtime, and the overtime was just another beast in itself. It's just foul, missed free throws, we come down, score, this, that. But when everybody on our team is stepping up, it's just like when just the whole thing comes together and it's just nothing can stop that.
Yep.
That's what it felt like. And then, I ended up making the game-winning layup. And then from there on, it was just bananas.
Man, I feel like the way you said it was simple, but for everybody that's listening and watching this show, it's like everything was happening so chaotic. But you could probably speak to this. It was in slow motion. Like when that moment, I think they might. What did they miss a free throw?
Yeah.
Missed a free throw.
This is overtime, or you talking about?
To send it to overtime.
Yeah.
They missed a free because you sent it to overtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
They missed a free throw. Dude gets the ball. I'm like, yo. I think I had Will sitting behind. No, Will was at half court again. Will was at half court by this time. My man sitting behind me, I'm like, I can't even look at this shit, yo. And then you came down the court, yo. Oh my God, like I said, and I look, just going in slow motion the whole time. I didn't think he was gonna make it.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, I didn't think y'all was gonna win. Because it was like late and y'all had to make some plays.
It was
Y'all was down. Like, I believe y'all was down. And
we were down like 6 with like a minute and a half.
yeah.
Like that.
And the reason why I remember that is because Will was at half court. I just remember it being dead quiet.
Yeah.
And Will was just started, I believe. Yo, Will started yelling that, and everybody started gradually yelling it too. Yeah. Y'all came back after that, and then you hit that shot, man. I was like, yo, that right there.
Yeah.
Like, that really cemented it for me. I was like, yo, he's ready to go.
That thing was like a blur. But
yeah.
I just remember being on the free throw line. I've never been more exhausted in my life.
Yep.
However many minutes we played, I came out that game for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I was exhausted because I was just hitting the floor. Like it was just crazy. Like, we were all going just 100 miles an hour trying to get this win. And for all of those situations to align and for us to come out with the win, for the championship, or the conference championship against a Wesley team who was ranked also, without our leader, our leading, like just our
pure leader.
Yeah, just our guy, not on the floor, and we came out with the win. It was magical.
It was crazy, man.
Magical.
Yeah, it was a really crazy moment, man. I could not believe that, man.
Yeah.
So you deal with that. You had a conference chip. Now y'all get into the tournament. If you can remember what happened in the tournament, you want to talk about that real quick?
So I remember we were watching a little selection Sunday, and I think the first team we pulled, it was MIT. The first team we pulled, and they were like top 3 in the country, had 2 All-Americans, and it was just like, all right, we got to battle. Like, at this point, I don't even think Dev is back yet.
No,
Dev is
still trying to get cleared to get back.
Yep, and Dev is still out, so it's just like, all right, it's another uphill battle. This team, it was like the average height on that team was like 6'5". They were huge. We were a small team. We had a center who only played a few, and then we went straight small ball after that. So I just remember leading up to that game, the anticipation, just the noise it was making in the town because it was a home game. And everybody showed out. Everybody came out to support, which was amazing. And that game itself was another dogfight. We started the game, we were down 85% of the game. But the way we played defense, the run and jump, the constant pressing, the switching defenses, we grinded them down, and then we just took the lead, and that's all she wrote. That was my favorite game of my life.
Favorite game of your life? I was going to ask you that too, because I thought it would have been the Wesley joint. But
that MIT was a favorite game of my life.
Really?
Yeah. Kyle Wise stepped up huge in that game because I didn't play well in the first half. I think I had like 4 points or something like that, 2 points maybe. And then Kyle he went off for the game for like 20. I ended up finishing with 20 plus, and it was just like, yeah, we went crazy.
That's tough.
Crazy.
Man. That's tough. So that's first round.
Yep.
Top team.
Yep.
You get past them, who you catch next?
Alvernia
at
Alvernia in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I've never even been there, I don't think. How did that one go?
That was another game. I think they upset somebody the game before, so they were hot. And they won their conference championships. They were moving. They had a bunch of good guys. That was another game. It was crazy packed. And happenstance, our lacrosse team was playing in the area. So they showed up to the game too. So it was like,
I know they was acting crazy in there too.
Going nuts.
Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, all the St. Mary's other sports got some wild people on them, yo. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna put none of y'all out there.
Yeah.
But y'all had some wild characters on y'all other sports teams, man. Had slapped a couple of y'all up in the weight room one day. We ain't gonna say nothing about that either.
They know who they are. But
yeah, they wild.
The game was crazy. But that game felt more like we had control. Still a close game, still down to the wire, but I felt like we had the upper hand that whole game. We ended up finishing them off too.
And this is still no Dev.
No Dev.
And I think Dev wound up coming back, which is the next game. They tried to come back.
No, I don't think it was that game.
Was that next one?
That game, there was another upset. So we ended up playing, I don't even remember this team. Don't even remember the game.
Yeah.
We smoked them. Like, it was like a 20-point win at our place. But then the following game, that's when Dev tried to come back.
Yeah. In that final game, who did y'all catch in that game?
Marriott and Baylor.
What were your thoughts on that game?
It's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. They had a good team. They had a lot of good players. They had I think they had one All-American or something like that on that team. They were good. But I just remember being frustrated because Dev practiced. He practiced leading up to that game. And what he did to us in practice, There was no reason he shouldn't have been on that court because he smoked us in the practice before that. So I was like, oh, Dev's back, this and that. It didn't end up happening. He didn't play, or he came in, didn't play much. So it was like that was a blow to our confidence also. So we're just going through the game, and it's just everything that was working wasn't working. Shots weren't falling. They're getting some ways, like some calls, some shots bouncing their way, and then we just ended up taking the L, and that was heartbreaking.
Yeah,
because that was like I felt like that was the team. We had the team to do it, and it was rough. It's crazy because even now I look back at it. Duncan Robinson was in that. He was in that little bracket. Like he was one of the teams left.
Really?
Yep. He was on whatever team he played for. He was down there.
Damn.
Yep. So there were some teams out there. There were some good teams, but I think we had the best team down there.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like no lie.
Sure. So after that's done and over with, now you got Dev gone.
Yeah.
You got, I think Hollis is gone, leaving that year,
Hollis
right?
is gone. James is gone.
James is done.
Yeah.
Trying to think about anybody else in that circumstance that's done after that. I don't think it was nobody else because I think everybody else is your class.
Thurman is gone. Thurman was on that team.
Yeah, Thurman is gone too. Yep.
I think that might be it.
I think that might be it.
I'm not forgetting nobody.
Because I ain't gonna lie, after that, I don't know what you had going on down there.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
So you leave that, those guys are gone, and obviously from like I said, from a basketball perspective, you're starting to like step into your own. So you know you're getting better, and you're going into your junior year of college. Do you take the same approach preparation-wise to do what you did, like to get better in the season before, like go get with another person?